Been a month since we planted the sunflowers. Go do a field update here in a little bit. But first, we're spraying out the wheat and oat field, doing no-till overseeding of the brown top millet next weekend. To do that, we're just using the standard 41% glyphosate with a built-in surfactant, spraying it at 2 ounces per gallon. Put about 40 gallons of solution in this tank and spray out that acre field back there. Broad spectrum, so it should kill everything in the field. And we'll come back in here and plant about 8 days from now. So we're gonna put 2 quarts per acre. Got our chemical in, now we'll put in the rest of our water, got everything mixed up. It'll be time to go spraying. A lot of this wheat and oats have already dried out. So most of what we're spraying is this yellow mustard and thistle and some other stuff in there, some clover too, which I don't know if that'll kill the clover or not. We don't need agitator. We're gonna go full send here. Oh yeah, got a nice coating on there. Have no idea what that is. A little orange flower, no idea. But I do know we've got yellow mustard. Don't know what that is either. I am not a weed guy, so if you know what these weeds are, drop it in the comments. But at 2 ounces to the gallon of glyphosate, we should knock most of this out. But the deer have been in here clipping off all this wheat. Dad said he sees her out here almost every morning and evening eating in this field, along with the rabbits, squirrels, all kinds of critters. So all this wheat left to go to seed has benefited the wildlife tremendously, not to mention all the doves it's feeding. Our sunflowers back here are getting some good height on them and some good leaf structure. We'll walk up there in a minute and take a look at those. But we're off to part 2 of the planting out here. Gonna get this field ready for the brown top millet. One thing I don't think I mentioned regarding the process for the brown top millet. Some people might wonder, why are you spraying it and not mowing it and then spraying it? Well, I actually want to use all the wheat detritus and the oat detritus and all the leaves as a mulch cover back on top of that seed, since we're not going to be turning it into the soil. If you mowed it first and then seeded it, you might not quite get that seed to the ground as good, and you wouldn't have quite the mulch cover on top of it. So we're spraying it, seeding it, and then bush hogging it to throw that detritus back on top of it. Got the whole backfield sprayed out. It'll be ready in about a week, 10 days or so, and we'll do some brown top millet overseeding. But I want to show you something pretty cool here. This spot right here we missed when we were spraying our pre-emergence, and if it were not for the pendimethalin that we added in this year, the Prowl H2O, our whole field would look like this right now, a month after planting. So if you think pre-emergence don't work, think again. I'm so glad we mixed in that Prowl, because it made a huge difference. This rest of the field, minus this island, this was not sprayed. The rest of this field is clean as a whistle a month after planting, except for this one streak here, and there's one little streak over here. The area is actually so small, I'm gonna throw a backpack sprayer on and just mist it with a little bit of clethodim, the grass out real quick, just to keep this under control. I don't want to come back here in a week and spray and this be even taller. So I'm gonna go ahead and get ahead of this with just a little bit of grass out. But otherwise, I am very pleased with our pre-emergence. Feel like I'm always fighting an uphill battle. Last year, it was the deer in here. Now we put up this expansive electric fence, a lot of money, a lot of time. Well, the dang rabbits are eating us out now. Not a single deer track in here, but there are sunflowers clipped off everywhere. So for every 3 or 4 you see, there'll be a clipped off one next to it. So I just, there's another one right there. I just don't know how to contend with these rascals. I'd have to run that lower fence even lower. We talked about this on last week's update. but the rabbits are still in here hitting these sunflowers. So I'm just gonna run my seeding rates up again next year to account for the rabbit predation, I guess. Not a whole lot else I can do, but once this field gets up and flushes out, I think we're gonna still be in pretty good shape. I'll be back out here in another week to spray. There's some broadleafs out here you can't quite see. Back out here in a week to spray any grass we missed and go ahead and spray our IMOX to knock out these remaining broadleafs. Otherwise, a month after planting, the sunflowers are looking good. This other half of the field, there is not a stitch of grass in this entire field. That pendimethalum is working wonders over here. If it weren't for the dang rabbits, clipped off, clipped off, clipped off, clipped off, clipped, clipped, clipped. If it weren't for the dang rabbits, we'd have a good looking field over here. Let's check out our cornfield. And we are well on our way to 3-collar corn. 3-collar, yeah, we've got some good corn in here. I still see some deer tracks, but a lot of this corn is making its way up. It's very sparse, which we talked about the last time. There's some deer predation right there. But there is a lot of corn in here, even though it's kind of sparse. But just like the sunflower field, we've got a lot of good weed control and a lot of good grass control. There's a little bit of grass right here in the frame, but by and far, there's just not much grass out here at all. And this field would 100% look like this right here if we had not sprayed the pre-emergent. This is a portion of the field that did not get sprayed or planted, but that's what the whole field would look like. So you can see that perfect line where the sprayer came, and we have successfully controlled our grasses in this field to the point where when we spray the Roundup, we'll mainly be killing broadleafs. These deer are doing their best to tear up this field. They're shredding the top off of that one, shred the top, that one, that one. The deer are shredding the tops off of this corn. Did not know that was a thing. So we got the millet field sprayed out, prepared to plant in a week from now. We got a sunflower field update. I sprayed a little bit of grass in that heavy concentration where we missed with the pre-emergent, and the cornfield's looking pretty good for our first year. The rabbits and deer are doing their best to set us back again this year, but we will continue to press on, and it is what it is at this point to some degree. But thank you guys for watching. There'll be plenty more updates coming. But as always, God bless. Take care.